Hello everyone, welcome to this very first video of 2013. So yeah, after my long exam and holiday period, I'm back doing videos. I won't start with Wargame replays right away. I will start with a video recapping a bit all the RTS games that are scheduled for 2013. I won't be speaking about the pure war games like Crusader Kings or other Paradox games. I won't be speaking about management games like SimCity, even if it's looking like a great game. I will be focusing on mainly RTS games. So to start with, of course, Wargame Island Battle. You would have guessed that by the pictures and of course by the nature of my channel. Wargame is a game I like a lot. I'm hoping Island Battle will be awesome. It looks like the developers' Fusion system have duly noted all the comments and all the problems of European escalation, and it looks like they are willing to tackle all of them. So we may have a game with a lot less rushing, a lot less blobbing, a lot less problems with the unit balancing. For example, the rocket launchers, the autocannon units, some of them are unbalanced. They don't really do what they should do. They are too strong in some situations, not enough in other situations. So globally, it looks like the Fusion system is trying to correct all those problems. I hope they'll deliver, and we will have at least the beta to test all those changes. The beta should come quite soon. There is no official date, but the game is announced for spring. Yeah, let's say spring 2013. So it was March, but I think it will come a bit later. But we should have a beta quite soon if they want to keep up with their schedule. So that's it for Island Battle. I will just show you quickly the interesting stuff. If you don't know it already, if you want to follow all the things about Island Battle, I would suggest going on the forums, going on the Wargame Island Battle section, and following the previews and news related to WAB. You'll have, it's a bit disorganized, but if you go through the posts quite quickly, you will be able to detect a few articles that are linked, press articles. Some of them are in French, others in English, others in Polish, I think. But with the internet translation, it shouldn't be a problem. You should be able to gather a few information if you want some, and if you have questions, don't hesitate, come on the boards and ask them. We will answer all the questions, well, as much as we can. So next game coming in, first of the three big RTS games of the year, Rome 2 Total War, of course. The third playable nation has been announced a couple of days ago. The third playable nation is Macedon. So apparently, according to the wiki, there will be only 8 playable nations. So maybe I'm mistaken, because I haven't, apart from Island Battle, all the other RTS games I've been following the info from quite far away. Don't have all that time to follow daily the information, but if I'm not mistaken, it will be only 8 playable factions. That's quite disappointment comparing to Rome, which had a lot of playable factions. But the good point is that each faction apparently will have a specific gameplay. So Rome, for example, they are saying that it enjoys enhanced military development. You will have to choose one of the great Roman houses, Julia, Cornelia, and Junia, that give each bonuses, economic, military, and cultural bonuses. For the Carthage nation, you will have a democracy, enhancing the population happiness. You'll be able to choose one of 3 major political powers that gives military, economic, or cultural benefits. And last but not least, Macedon, you'll have, apparently it relies a lot on how do they say? Rely on crap, I forgot the word. Vassals, yeah. So they rely a lot on vassals that will give them money and develop the economy. They rely a lot on pikes and cavalry. So each nation will have its different economic systems, different economic bonuses, different military systems. For example, Rome is essentially the pilum, the javelin, with the Roman legionaries. Macedonians are light cavalry and, of course, units with long spears forming spike formations, and the Carthaginians are mainly a big naval nation and relying a lot on mercenaries for their ground forces. So if it's actually only 8 playable nations, but if they have really different playstyles, it can still be really interesting. And with the new graphic engine, we'll have a really awesome game. Second huge game, Company of Heroes 2, of course. So just like the other RTS games, I haven't followed that closely the information, but this game is going to be awesome. East Front, of course, Russian versus German forces. We'll have the weather that we'll have to take into account, the rivers that will freeze in winter, the tanks that will be able to cross the frozen rivers, but the ice can crack beneath them and the tanks can just sink in the water. So it's really interesting game with really interesting mechanics. I hope they deliver. If they do, it will be a really awesome game. Third huge game of the year, of course, the Starcraft 2 expansion, Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. I won't be speaking about it because you guys know it better than I do. I've played Starcraft 2 only a couple of times at friend's house. I haven't bought it yet. I'm focused on other RTS games. But huge RTS game, huge esport game, of course, and the Heart of the Swarm expansion should be a really good game for all the Starcraft 2 fans. So going on the Might and Magic universe now, we've got an expansion that has been announced, the Shades of Darkness expansion, adding of course a new campaign and a new faction at last, the Dark Elves faction. The campaign should focus on the origin of this faction, so it can be really interesting to play. I hope it won't be too expensive, and that the content will be pretty nice. So that's it for the Might and Magic, at least the Hero 6 part. So going now on Kickstarter project. The first project, which has been funded, of course, is Plenary Annihilation, a huge fund, a pledge of $900,000, but they obtained $2.2 million, which allowed them to unlock huge goals. So basically the game is a bigger version of Supreme Commander, basically. So it's you battle on a planet and then you can colonize a moon or another planet and send a meteorite on the initial planet to just crush your opponent under it. So it's pretty interesting. A few goals have been achieved. So we've got the primary goal, of course, naval units and water planets, gas giants and orbital units, metal and lava planets, an awesome galactic war, and a nice full orchestral score. A bit less interesting for the gameplay, but really nice for the immersion. So all of this is really promising. I'm just going to show you the video over here. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's really nice.
The age of humanity has long passed. The endless conflict continues to march into the vast darkness of space. Battles rage across the cold void, annihilating planets, moons, and asteroids. Cosmic obliteration for a purpose long forgotten. Technology has been captured, assimilated, refined, and transformed into brutally efficient, self-replicating mechanisms of war.
So that's it for Planetary Annihilation. So of course, this is more of an artistic vision of the game. The game is still in development. It's nowhere near this point of development. But for those of you interested, Uber Entertainment has a channel, and they are releasing frequently live streams. So they are making live streams and they are putting them on the channel. So you've got Q&A sessions, which are pretty nice. You've got information about the game, the development process. The first live stream they were speaking about the planet generation tool. Here they revealed a bit of the artworks and the current development of the game. They spoke about the AI, so everything is quite interesting. If you have like 1 hour to spare, you can go and watch all those live streams. They are pretty interesting. So that's it for Planetary Annihilation. Let's move on to the Banner Saga Factions, which is another Kickstarter project that has obliterated its goal of $100,000. It reached $720,000 of pledge, so it's really, really awesome. So the Banner Saga is a quite weird project for now. I don't really know much about it, but basically it's a mix of RPG, role-playing game, and tactical battles. So to give you an idea of the game, we've got to go to the media gallery and look at some things from the RPG point of view. You've got unit character development. You've got discussions here with different answers possible. And regarding the battles, you've got something very similar to the classic turn-based strategy games like Heroes of Might and Magic. You've got this battlefield divided into squares, the units at the bottom, and this very well. The universe is in the Viking mythology, or just the Vikings, and it has a very, very interesting art style. So I think it's a game that should be followed by all the turn-based and RPG fans. It can be pretty interesting. Just go and watch different videos if you're interested. It can be a project that can turn out pretty nicely. Let's go to the free-to-play games now. So the first big free-to-play game is Command and Conquer. So initially Generals 2, then transferred, just named General Command Conquer, and switched from normal game to free-to-play. It was quite of a disappointment at the announcement of the game, but since then, well, I've just I don't know, accepted the idea, and I'm still following a bit of the info about the game. So still Frostbite 2, still very nice universe. A lot of people were wondering if it was still gonna be and feel like a Command and Conquer game. If you want to have an idea, just go on the YouTube channel Command and Conquer, and you've got a Command and Conquer Summit 2012 where they basically invited fans to a summit, and they presented the game to them. Apparently, according to them, the game is really has a real Command and Conquer feeling. 3 nations are present. They've been able to test all 3 of them. 2 only have been announced, but if you look close enough in the video, you'll be able to detect on one of the walls in the room the logo of the 3rd nation. Apparently the game has a real Command and Conquer feeling. It's really nice. The builders are back. The nervous gameplay is back. So yeah, normally all the Generals fans out there should be pretty glad about this game, pretty happy. So yeah, just follow this game. It looks like it's gonna be a pretty nice free-to-play. Another free-to-play game is End of Nations. So this game also has a Command and Conquer feeling to it, which is normal. Of course, Petroglyph Games is the studio behind this End of Nations. These are the guys mainly from Westwood, which were behind the Command and Conquer Red Alert 2, just to give an example. So a pretty nice studio. Big problem of End of Nations is that Petroglyph has abandoned the project, and the editor, Triumph Worlds, is left with the game. It has put another developer on the game, but since Petroglyph has left, we haven't had a lot of info about the game, and we honestly don't really know where it is, if it will change a lot, if it will... Well, they told us they were continuing the development, but it's not all that sure. Well, we're still waiting for some information. There were a lot of betas going on at the time, but since the change of developer, well, the betas have stopped, if I'm not mistaken, and the status of the game is pretty unclear right now. So, well, it's a nice idea. It's a MMO RTS game, and it's pretty interesting. When I tried the beta, I wasn't all that much into the gameplay, a bit too simplistic, in my opinion, but it's still a nice game to follow, and I hope they still manage to release it and make an interesting free-to-play MMO RTS. Last of the free-to-play games is Might and Magic Heroes Online. So back to the Might and Magic universe. So this game, we know nothing about it. We've got only 3 little screenshots, but screenshots that are pretty interesting. We can see the coming back of the hex-based battles, which is pretty nice, compared to the Heroes 5 and Heroes 6 square-based battles. We've got the Heroes 5 graphic fidelity coming back, with a bit of Heroes 6 also, so it's a bit of a mix. We've got resources coming back. It looks like we've got gold, wood, or different crystals. So and visually it's pretty interesting. I think it's a browser-based game. So free-to-play, online, browser-based, and Heroes of Might and Magic, of course. All this is pretty interesting, and I'm going to be following this pretty closely. And last picture. Well, pretty empty picture. Last game, another Kickstarter project, but I won't be speaking about it a lot because it's just been announced. Sorry. The big plus of this game is that we've got a big studio behind it. We've got Gas Powered Games, the guys behind the Supreme Commander games 1 and 2, Forge Alliance, and more recently Age of Empires Online. So they've had their moments of glory and other moments also. They were having a countdown going on the internet. I was hoping a big announcement of Subcom 3 or a big game in that vibe, but we've had something totally different, something called Wildman. I was hoping for the return of Kings and Castles, a Supreme Commander style game, but in the medieval and fantasy world with dragons, well, yeah, dragons, men on foot, archers, cavalry, all things like that, castles of course. But they announced Wildman. It's, according to Chris Taylor, so the founder of Gas Powered Games, of GPG, according to him, it's a mix of RPG and RTS. From the videos we've seen, mainly on their channel, so you can check out the GPG video channel. Of course, they just released a update number 1 showing prototype gameplay and question and answer, so it's quite interesting. But with the first footage we see, it makes me more feel it's gonna be some sort of MOBA than a real RTS or just an RPG. But I've got some difficulties seeing the RTS elements in the game, but GPG is behind this game. I'm still hoping they'll be able to make something quite epic. So I'm gonna follow this project, not closely, but I'll try to follow it and see where it leads. And of course, the first step compared to Plenary Annihilation and the other game, the Banner, forgot the damn name. Well, the Viking Game. This game hasn't reached its goal yet. It's got 27 days to go, so it's okay. But they have a big goal of $1.1 million. They are only at 200,000, which is pretty nice actually, considering it's been up only 3 or 4 days. So I think they may be able to reach their goal, but it's gonna be pretty hard if the donations start slowing down. I don't know. I'm not sure if I wanted to reach the goal. It depends on, of course, what the game will look like. But now we really don't know what to expect. So maybe in 1 or 2 videos we'll see how the